Hey, what's up, YouTube? Dude Without Fear here. I'm going to do a quick review of Harley Loves Joker. Number 1 of a 2-issue miniseries. Number 2 actually just came out yesterday, I believe. I haven't got a chance to go down to my local comic shop yet, so I'll be reviewing that shortly. Recently discovered the world of comic book review videos, and I noticed that a lot of the reviewers that I watch on a regular basis mostly review stuff to roast, and while that of course has a place and that is fun and entertaining, you know, I would want to know if what I would want to know what's good out in the comic world, because there is a lot of trash comics out there that just are not worth your hard-earned money. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start doing this too, is because, you know, I can't afford to, I'm a working man, I can't afford to just buy a comic that's, you know, $4. I can't, which most comics are these days, are $4. I can't afford to buy a $4 comic just to, you know, roast it and rip it. I try to buy comics that I actually want, because I am a comic book collector. I've been collecting since I was 13 years old. I just turned 30 this year. I've got a excuse me, I've got a massive room of comic books. Just recently converted over to file cabinets. That's way better than boxes. If you have a large collection, I highly recommend it if you've got the room. It's so much easier to be able to just put your comics in a drawer as opposed to lugging around long boxes all day. So this is Harley Quinn, Harley Loves Joker, number 1. It's a 2-issue miniseries. Came out a week or so ago. Like I said, issue 2 just came out this week. I'll be reviewing that later once I get it. It's written by one of the co-creators of Harley Quinn, which is Paul Dini. And I would say most of her creation goes to him. Most of the credit of her creation goes to him, because he wrote her and created her. He just, you know, of course didn't draw her or anything, but this is the Harley Quinn that I grew up with on Batman the Animated Series, which is where she first appeared. This is the Harley Quinn that I grew up reading, because that's how she was until September 2011, when the infamous New 52 happened in the DCU, and sort of half retconned the last 30 years of their history. And it's been kind of a bumpy road for some characters ever since then. But so when that happened, when the New 52 took over, this Harley Quinn went away, and this Harley Quinn is kind of what we got stuck with. This is a more serious drawing of her. She's usually a lot more slapstick looking than this. But she's, you know, like a roller derby girl, and she's almost like a female Deadpool, essentially. She breaks the fourth wall, and that stuff just doesn't appeal to me. There's just a uniqueness about classic Harley Quinn, and so I don't buy new Harley Quinn comics. The only ones I've bought are the ones that had the story that this is actually a continuation of. Paul Dini wrote a story in 4 or 5 issues of Harley Quinn, maybe about a year ago or so, not long after Harley Quinn Rebirth started. But it was a backup story that ran in the back of Harley Quinn issues, and I tried to read the main story of those, and I couldn't handle it. I just do not like current Harley Quinn at all. But the backup story was excellent. It was very good. It had that feel of the animated series to it. Just classic Harley Quinn and Joker, written by Paul Dini, who is incredible. He's one of my favorite comic book writers. He's excellent. He really understands Batman, and he loves Batman and that whole world. And so anytime he gets to go into that world, it's a good thing. So I didn't know that this was actually going to be a continuation of that story. I actually thought it was a reprint of those stories, just DC trying to make some more money, you know. But it was not. It was a brand new story, a continuation of that story. And the artwork is cartoony, and it's, you know, it fits, you know. Harley Quinn's just got that certain feel to it. So essentially what this comic's about is Harley and Joker are still a couple, which I love. I love that dynamic. I don't really like Harley not being obsessed with the Joker, because it's just such a big part of that dynamic. They play off of each other well. But essentially they've got this new hideout, and it's she owes money to some people. Apologize about the glare. Owes money to some people, and they're trying to collect on her. And so her and Joker keep trying to do these heists, and she winds up running into an old colleague that she used to work with, and she winds up competing for the Joker's interests and moving in on Harley's territory, and Harley doesn't like it. And so it's definitely a great story. I don't want to do a bunch of spoilers or anything like that. Here you can see them in the Iceberg Lounge waiting to pull a heist, and it's just, the Joker is, while he's in this book, he is definitely a backup character to Harley, whereas usually Harley is the backup to the Joker. But that is definitely not the case in this book. Harley is front and center in the action, and the story really revolves around her and her trying to, you know, get in good graces and please her pudding. And so this is a new villain that's introduced, like a new nemesis for Harley Quinn, and it's just a really fun story. So if you grew up watching the animated series and you like that version of Harley Quinn, this is definitely the book for you. It is very fun, very entertaining, and I very much look forward to the next issue. I don't want to show everything, but just try and, you know, give you a glance at all the artwork in it. But it is definitely worth $3.99. So I would not wait for a trade. I'd try to go to your local comic shop and pick this up, because local comic shops are not doing so well right now with just the way that the industry is. And so any support that you can give your local comic shop, they will greatly appreciate. If you don't know where a local comic shop is, you can go to Comic Shop Locator on Google, and they will point you in the direction of a comic shop. But so this is the first of many reviews that I plan on doing. This is kind of longer than I intended it to be, and it didn't really review a whole lot of the book, really. It just kind of gives you a glimpse at it. But I definitely would recommend picking up this book and supporting these creators on the book. And it's always good to support the good stuff that comes out, and to know what's good and what's not. And this I would definitely classify as good. So I'm going to also be, my plans for this channel, really don't just include new comics. I buy back issues all the time, and so I'm going to also review some back issues that there may not be reviews for, and try to just review comics in general, and just talk about good stories. And I'm sure I'll review some bad stories, but I'm not going to intentionally buy a bad comic book. That's never my intention. I don't ever want to buy a bad comic book. I want every comic book I buy to be worth my money and worth my time, and I want to be there for you, to support you in that too. I want to let you know what's good and let you know what's not, so that you're not wasting your time and your hard-earned money. So give me a like, hit subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at Dude Without Fear, and be looking for more reviews here shortly. Thank you very much. You have a great day.